Hello, everybody. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. Alfred is not about. He's caught COVID, apparently, so he's sacked. And to my right is Clivus, all the way back from touring the whole of Europe, by the looks of it. Do you know what I mean? But we're here to talk about West Ham 2, Newcastle 2. Clive, first off, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Can't complain. I think this illness is going around. I don't necessarily think I had COVID, but I know everyone's been getting a bit ill with this weather. But yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. West Ham are flying. We're going to talk about Thomas Soucek, which I know you can't wait to talk about, but there we go.
You know it.
Remember?
You know it.
Yeah. Before I get started, please do smash a like on the video, subscribe to E20 Zone TV, hit the notification bell, and if you want just to start against Aston Villa, smash the like button. It goes a long way. Right, let's get into this. Alfonso Areola. Assess him today for me, Clive.
He wasn't too bad. I think his key contribution was just before the equaliser, that good save. But yeah, I mean, look, I think the defending was what let the team down rather than his goalkeeping, to be honest. So I'll give him a low 7.
I'm going to agree, mate. I thought we kept us in the game. He done some good saves. He done a good save from Dan Burn in the second half, which that's a goal anywhere else on the pitch. But he managed to keep it out. There's nothing you can do for the 2 goals. Really, it's poor defending. Both goals are poor defending. But yeah,
exactly.
I'll make it short and sweet. A 7 out of 10 for Areola. Right, let's go over to the right-hand side and start off with this man. Soufal, what you saying?
Soufal had a good game. He assisted the second goal, the equaliser for us. So he got the assist. I don't think he played that bad. I think the bigger issue was more in our centre halves. I think the assist gives him more than an average performance, so he gets a nice little 7 as well. I think if you take the assist out of it, he didn't do too much, but he wasn't as much of a bother as some of the sloppiness that we did actually see in the middle of the defence. So,
I thought he was good today. I really do. I thought he was excellent. I thought we got up and down that right-hand side well. I thought defensively he weren't too bad, so I'm going to give him a 7. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought that's one of his best performances. I thought he was excellent. I thought he was getting crosses in and everything. So
passing was a little astray, but I think other than that, I get that he did have a good game overall.
Yeah,
tough opposition as well. So
yeah, I hear you, man. Let's move on to this man, Emerson, on the left-hand side, created the first goal, Clive. Fault.
Created the first goal, wrongly yellow carded for saying that Bruno should have been sent off, which he should have been sent off. So incorrectly carded. Created a great chance for us for that first goal. He played well, recovered the ball well, won the duels where he needed to win the duels. I was going to say 7, but I actually might have given him an 8.
I thought he was decent today again.
I think I might give him an 8. I don't think, again, he's not a fault for the goals for me. So I'm gonna give him a low 8.
I'm gonna give him a high 7, just not an 8 for me. I thought he was excellent for the first goal. Like, let's have it right. He runs down that left-hand side brilliantly and works well with Soucek for the first. I think his running rate is good. Like, as he sort of runs in and out of possession. High 7 for me. I thought he was decent. Let's go to the centre halves. Let me start off with this man, Naif Aguerd. Gets a lot of stick tonight, but he did get a push in the back for that second goal, but it's still bad. What did you make of him, mate?
Passing awful. He wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
Sorry. Zuma was also bad with the passing. I think both of them were awful. I think Aguerd went to sleep on the second goal that Isak scored against us, which, there's constant issues, and Aguerd's he's not learning, I don't think. He made some issues last season. He's continued this season. and to concede 2 quick goals like we did, especially sleeping off for that second goal, it's not great. The passing wasn't great today. Very sloppy. So for me, I'm going to give him a 5. I would say a 6, but I think the 5 is probably justified.
Do you know what? This is such a hard rating for me, this one tonight. I think a lot of the ratings are going to be quite easy to do. But this one's an R one because I thought in the first half he was excellent. I really did. I thought he handled himself well. I thought Isak was not doing nothing. Second half, he comes out and he's a completely different player. It's like Space Jam. It's like the talent's just been sucked out of him at half time. And second half, he comes out playing like a flipping Sunday League player. The second goal is on him. Don't get me wrong, but he does get a little nudge, which takes him off balance. If you watch it again, you get as the ball comes in, Isak plays the cute game, gives him a nudge, puts him off balance, and then basically Isak puts it in. Aguerd's an hard one this year. He really is because he hasn't performed. I was listening to the commentator earlier on, and the commentator saying that he's had a decent season so far. I don't know what they obviously haven't been watching West Ham, and I back him a lot. So I'm going to give him just a 5. It's just a 5 for me. Yeah, he's got to improve. He's good in one half and then he's crap in the other. It just makes no sense. It just makes no sense to me how he can go from being good to being crap in 45-minute spells. But yeah, standard 5 for me. Moving on to this man, Kurt Zouma, captain. Explain to me, Stay.
Lacked leadership today. 2 quick goals. Passing was awful from him. One of his worst games this season, if not his worst game this season, I'd say. The one plus side for him is his clearances. He managed to win a few of the aerial duels against Newcastle, unlike Aguerd. So in terms of heading ability, he was a little bit better.
Yeah.
But overall, poor from him. Definitely expected better. He was very sloppy in possession, which, is a big thing. And I think he only completed 60% of his passes. He completed 15 out of 25.
Yeah.
So very, very minimum from him. From a centre back, that's not great. I'm tossing with a high 5 and a low 6. I'll give him a low 6, but only just.
What am I gonna say? What am I gonna say for Zouma? I thought he'd done a good captaincy role today. He was trying to win the fouls and everything else, and trying to say why aren't you booking people and all that. The problem I have is sometimes he's just out of position and he's not telling Aguerd where to go and what to do. Do you know what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying, but he wasn't as bad as Aguerd in the second half. I will say that. So I'm going to give him just a 6 for me. Also, I'll make it pretty short and sweet. I think it was just an average performance from him today. Not his best, but not his worst, so to speak. But let's move on to where is he? Let's go to. Where is he? We're gonna. It's gonna be this man, Edison Alvarez. What you saying for him today?
Not bad from him. He didn't have much of the ball in terms of passing. Then again, we didn't have a lot of possession, to be honest, in the game. But his passing was dead accurate. I think he was one of the most accurate on the pitch, if not the most accurate on the pitch. Good on the tackles.
Is he at fault for the first goal though? Because the header instead of headering it away, he heads it, if anything, across the goal for Isak to score.
Yeah, I mean, it ricocheted off him, didn't it? Really,
yeah.
But. At the same time, where would you expect the player to go? You got to question that. I think 9 out of 10 players, you're looking at the same thing happening. It's just a bit unfortunate. You could blame him to an extent, I guess, but you'd probably argue that at the same time, it's just poor defending. We shouldn't be allowing him to get Isak into that position in the first place. So yes and no, I guess. I do think he had a solid performance overall, though. I think from a passing point of view, from a tackling point of view, he looked good. He looked really good in that game. I'd give him a 7. I don't think he's fully at fault.
I am going to give him a high 6, just not a 7. I love this geezer though. I think this geezer's one of the reasons why West Ham's doing well this season. I just like how he sits and he just defends basically, and he allows the attackers to attack, and he don't ever look to go forward. He's unlucky not to score today. Also, he had a great chance from a corner where he had a diving header and it just went past the post. If he gets it on target, it might have caused the goalkeeper problems. But Alvarez, for me, he's solid, he's strong, his reading of the game is excellent. I agree with what Lucas says quite a lot. And Lucas turned around and said to me about sometimes he miscontrols or he kicks the ball, he doesn't clear the ball. Like he sort of it's rash. It's a bit all over the place. Yeah, like even the header for their goal is a bit rash. So yeah, other than that, I think he's excellent, the geezer, mate. I'm really pleased that he's in the West Ham shirt. So I'll give him a high 6 for me. Let's move on to this man, Thomas Soucek. This is the moment Clive's been waiting for. You know what I mean? Let me get the sound on for Clive as he's sort of going to be happy about it. Is Thomas Soucek the man for you, Clive? Take it away.
At this point, where do I start? I have waited a whole month since I last been on. A whole month to let you know that Thomas Soucek is back. And he is back. He's back on goal scoring. He's back on getting that confidence back up. He's looking better. He's looking brighter. Yes, he didn't have much of the ball today. And yes, he was probably, I would say, rightly substituted when he was.
Yeah.
But great goal, scoring, boots are back on. And yeah, I mean, at this rate, it could be Soucek and Ward-Prowse for Hammer of the Year. That's all I'm saying. So what a turn of events, and I'm loving every second
Well,
of
let
it.
me ask you something, Clive. Why? Why has he changed his tune from last season to now?
I think last season, the first half of the season, we had the issue with who should be attacking, and Rice was given the go-ahead to attack. Obviously, we changed formation, but Rice was given the go-ahead. Soucek was expected to sit back a little bit more, whilst we're now seeing Soucek back on that attacking prowess, which it suits his style better. Because he's able to, I know you joke around saying he loves a little cardio session, and he does. But when he's further forward, he's got the legs to get back and track back. Versus when he was more defensively, where I think he panicked a little bit. He was further back, didn't have to track back as much, and would sometimes make errors that you would not expect from someone with that experience.
Yeah.
But I think that knocked his confidence. The second half of the season, he tried to get that confidence back up, and it didn't fully come back for him. But this season, it really has. And all he needed was a couple of goals. And as soon as those goals came back, you knew his confidence was gonna uplift, and we can see it with the players that have been purchased. The idea is for Soucek to be attacking more rather than defending more. And yes, there will be games where he's sat further back, but that might suit his style depending on who we face. But in this game today, he caused an issue going up, attacking more, which was good. For me, he gets a high 7.
I think for me, it's like Soucek's been reborn, mate, at West Ham. This reminds me of the 2020, 2021 Soucek when he arrived, and just like arriving late in the box, scoring goals. There's 2 goals in a week now. Like in a week, he scored 2 goals last week against Sheffield United, this week against Newcastle. I think personally it's because Alvarez helps him a lot. And Alvarez sits there and as a defensive midfielder, Alvarez does not move from that position. He stays in that position.
Yeah.
And he allows Soucek. One, he allows Soucek to go further forward. 2, he allows Soucek to, if he does lose the ball, he can recover it in a way to say, you know what, don't worry, like express yourself because I'm here, like sort of thing. Obviously, he has Ward-Prowse next to him, who's a good passer of the ball also, so that does help. So yeah, listen, he scored a goal today. He got subbed, I think it was, and yeah, he's been a player who's really he's like a man reborn, isn't he? So yeah, I'm going to give him. I'll give him a strong 7. Strong 7 today.
Exactly. It's his 4th goal of the season in 10 appearances, 2nd in the Premier League this season. So we could be looking at a very good season for him.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And do you know what? In one way, it could be a good thing because now he's pushing further forward. He's more likely to do damage at the right end instead of the wrong end, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? But we will move on
that's true.
to JWP, otherwise known as James Ward-Prowse. Clive, what you saying?
Yeah, again, passing wise, very accurate today. And he's definitely shown those that were doubting him when he came to West Ham. He's shown all season so far that he's got the qualities, he's got that leadership. He's just very calm on the ball, very confident on the ball. He sees the right passes. He knows where to go. He did play a lot deeper than I did expect for the game. I personally thought when we had the lineup initially, I thought it was going to be Soucek and Alvarez at the back with Ward-Prowse attacking forward.
Yeah.
But clearly that I don't think that was what transpired today in the end. So I don't necessarily know if that fully suits his style. Which in the long term, depending on how we play the next few fixtures, is a bit of an iffy one, because it's, do you bring Soucek back and put JWP up, or do you keep JWP in that deeper role where in terms of his passing accuracy it's the best thing to do, but if you want JWP to be scoring goals and stuff, he needs to be going further forward. But he had some good crosses that went in, but he didn't really offer anything in terms of anything on target for the goal. Any shots he took were a bit askew and pointless, I would say.
Unlucky with a free kick.
Yeah, unlucky with a free kick, 100%. We know what his free kick power is like, though. So I think overall, decent performance. I'm going to give him a high 6.
What am I going to give JWP today? I thought he was all right today. I thought he got about the pitch. I think in the second half, West Ham were getting just played through the middle quite a lot. They was just getting destroyed through the middle of the park. But I've got to be honest, I thought he was all right today. So I'm going to make mine pretty short and sweet. I'm going to give him a high 6. Yeah, he's close to a 7 for me, because I do like him in that position. Like, he sort of picks the ball up from midfield. He sprays them passes out to the left and right, and allows Paqueta and Bowen to do their thing. But yeah, high 6 for me. I will say that. We've got Geordie in the house. Hello, guys. Big up. It was an entertaining match, mate. I've got to agree, it was entertaining. But you wait here, Geordie, till we get to the referee, mate, because he's going to get a right bollocking from both me and Clive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I thought he was shit. We'll move on to Lucas Paqueta. I'm going to go first on this one. I thought he was excellent today. He is my man in the match. I thought he was absolutely first class yet again. He played left wing. He played in the 10. He played as a striker. He got fouled a few times today, which I felt for him. I really did today, yeah, because he was getting fouled and the referee was not giving it. Do you know what I mean? Some of the times he did go down quite easily, but he's just a phenomenal talent, mate. He really is. I think his pass for the first goal that sets Emerson on his way is excellent. I think he's just overall play, like even up front with 20 minutes to go, he's got loads of energy, this geezer. Do you know what I'm saying? He's top class, and I can see why Manchester City wanted him. So I am going to give him my man of the match. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 today. I thought he was absolutely superb.
Oh, okay.
What you saying? What you saying, Clive?
Not my man of the match, but he was definitely one of the better performers.
Yeah.
Aerially, surprisingly good today. I don't know why I was so surprised with that, but I think he's started to really pick up the pace of the Premier League, compared to last season, where he just sort of went flat down onto the floor very easily.
Yeah.
He seems to have really understood the pressures, the demands of the league, and obviously dealing with the roughness of it. Yeah, it fouled quite a bit. But he won quite a bit of possession. He did lose a couple, which was a bit frustrating at times, but he's one of those where he's a flair player. So you're going to lose a bit of possession with him at times. He had quite a bit of the ball overall, and he looked good. He really threatened that first half an hour of the game. The front three, it really looked like we were opening up Newcastle quite easily at one point. And the passing, just the movement, everything looked fantastic. And unfortunately, we just didn't take enough of our chances in those first 30 minutes. Because otherwise,
Great.
we perhaps we would have been looking at a win. So for me, he gets a 7 for sure, and one of the players of the match for sure. But yeah, good game from him.
For me, before I move on, I just look at him and I just think he's just a major talent for West Ham. Like, I look at our team right now, and I've never seen so many top quality players at our club. Well, we will get to Kudus later on, who is going to be absolutely phenomenal. But at present, when you look at Paqueta, Bowen, these sort of men in our team, we've got talent. Right, I mean, I've seen some good talent over the years. So have you, Clive, over the last sort of like 36 years of my life. I've seen some quality players come to the door at West Ham, but I've never seen players who, I don't know, it just feels different at West Ham this season. It really does. And I'm so glad Paqueta plays in the claret and blue.
Well, yeah, usually we just have the sort of one or two special talented players and that's it. But, it feels like we've got something coming, which, it's a different feel, different vibe than we've ever had, I think. So I do agree.
Moving on to the man who signed a new 7-year deal. People thought it wasn't going to happen. How wrong they was. Jared Bowen, mate. I'm going to go first on this one. I thought today he was quiet up until the last sort of 10 minutes. And then the last 10 minutes when West Ham were pushing, we scored. He could have scored at the end if it wasn't for Nick Pope. Other than that, I thought Bowen was quiet. The only issue I have with Jared Bowen, I love him. Yeah, I love him. I'm glad he's here for 7 years. He's here to the rest of his career because West Ham ain't going to sell him. Yeah, I just can't see it unless someone comes in for absolute stupid money. But for me, when he's up against a good sort of fullback, sometimes Bowen does go a bit missing in games. I thought today he wasn't his fluent best. Do you know what I mean? He was in and out in spells. So I'm going to give Bowen a solid 6 today. That's like Eric John brings it up brilliantly there. Dan Burn kept him quiet. He did really, and I didn't understand why West Ham were playing the cross-field pass all the way over to Bowen when Dan Burn's marking him. That was just driving me absolutely mental. That was so. Yeah, I'll give him a solid 6 out of 10. He wasn't vintage Bowen today, but he's here for 7 years, so he can take a 6. 5.
Yeah, he gets a low 6 from me. Had the least touches of in the game. I think he had 14 touches, passed accurately 8 times. So passing accuracy wasn't great, but I mean up top doesn't necessarily matter as much. Before we get on to David Moyes, as I know that'll come up soon, but I'm surprised with how quiet Bowen was that we didn't make the switch for Bowen instead of Soucek for Kudus, because Kudus can play on the right wing, as we know.
I think it's just because he knows that Bowen can do something, though, Clive. I think
that's the thing, but sometimes it's just it's one of those where it's like if a player's not playing well or it's just he's been kept quiet and nullified, you've got to take the chance. And I'm not saying this because obviously I love Soucek. I'm saying this. I'm just surprised that Bowen wasn't taken off, considering at this point of the game he was still dead quiet 70 odd minutes into the game when Kudus came on, and obviously we know what Kudus can do on the wing, but it worked itself out, so it's fine. He gets a low 6, and at the end of the day, he'll make up for it in other games. It was just a missing game for him today.
Yeah, just one of them days, wasn't it, for him? It really was. Moving on to this man, Mikel Antonio. I don't know how to rate this man tonight because I see a lot of people giving him a lot of stick, Clive. And even the police are trying to find out who's been giving him a lot of stick. Do you know what I'm saying? Clive, I'll let you go first on this one. What do you make of him as the police sirens come for Antonio?
I know what you mean. I don't know how to rate the man. I think off the ball, he was incredible today. And what I mean by that is he really unsettled that back line in Newcastle, especially in the first 30. If we're looking at the first 30 again, what Paqueta was able to achieve and the movement that Antonio did, bringing that width of the defenders out, so we had the opportunities to go forward and take those opportunities. I do think Antonio was very good off the ball. On the ball, different story. Didn't do much. Got bullied a bit.
But let me ask you something, Clive. Let me ask you something. See, this is the argument I have with WestHamOnline and a few others. Yeah, when they say about Antonio, is that enough to warrant a starting place with West Ham. Like, don't get me wrong, I do agree with you. I thought he occupied Shah and Lascelles quite a lot today. Yeah, and he was doing
and he was
well.
fouled a lot. He was fouled a lot.
But is it enough? Is that enough?
Based on our current strikers, yes. If we actually got a decent striker, no. Based on our current strikers, like, what would you rather? Would you rather that or Danny Ings right up there? You know, because realistically, who's coming on for Antonio? It's not going to be Mbama. It's going to be Danny Ings that comes on for him. And it's frustrating. I mean, Antonio's what, 33, 34 now. We're still relying on him, and we're relying on him whilst we've got a European campaign playing, assuming around 50 games this season, if not slightly over.
It just doesn't
work.
See, the thing is, Clive, people keep saying about Kudus needs to start. Kudus needs to start. I keep hearing these words, right? And don't get me wrong, he should start. Now, if you're going to take anyone out at present, Antonio's the one that needs to come out.
For me, I don't want Kudus to be a striker. He's clearly there to be a centre attacking midfielder.
Yeah,
he's there to support Paqueta and Bowen. The purpose is we're going to have three in that line before the striker, and we're going to have Paqueta, Bowen, Kudus. That's the aim. And Kudus will be able to switch with Bowen. Bowen can then do the deep line number 10 position, go into the centre. Kudus and Bowen can make that into switch, which a lot of the other players can't. I think it's inevitable that Kudus is going to end up starting as a centre attacking mid, and the chances are that you're going to see a rotation of Alvarez and Soucek, because the players that got to go. Scoring more goals.
I've just got to get to this comment. Soucek is scoring more goals than Antonio. We have entered the twilight. It is true, though. It is true. When you got your midfielder scoring more goals than Antonio, it is a bit of a problem. What are you rating him?
We have. Do you know what? I don't think it was one of Antonio's worst games. He got fouled a lot. I don't think he was as bad as some people have made out. I'm going to give him a low 6 because off the ball, he created a lot of space for us.
See, I agree with you to a point. I do. Yeah, I really do. I thought first half, he got stuck in. He was there. He was occupying them two centre halves, and I was pleased really because I thought he was all right in the first half. Yeah. Second half, he comes out and he just goes missing. He just goes missing again, sort of thing. Yeah. And the problem I have with Antonio, and this is where people get a bit confused, he's got to do a bit more than just hold up the ball and like bring others into play. He's got to look to score goals because that's what he's paid to do. One thing I will say, to sort of in his defence, he was played everywhere today. He was played on the right wing. He was played at centre forward. He was played at I think it was on the left at one stage. Yeah, and he was just. And I don't like that. And that goes back to the tactics. That goes back to Moyes. But I will get to Moyes later on. So I'm going to give him a high 5 today, just not a 6 for me. I don't think he was only on for 75 minutes. And he got subbed. Yeah, and I'll be honest, it was just below average for me. Like average performance again. So, is what it is with Antonio. We move to the subs. We start off with this man. Saeed Benrahma. What did you make of him when he came on?
Didn't really do a lot more either, did he? I mean, he got a few touches of the ball, but didn't really.
He's unlucky not to score the winner, though. If Pope don't get his hand to there, either Alvarez puts it in or he does. Right? I mean, but I agree with you.
No, that's true. He didn't do enough to get a real grade. 5's not bad; it's an average, but he didn't perform to a point where it was like, oh my god, like it's not going to be remembered, and especially when you consider Kudus came on and scored. Kudus is going to get a bit more recognition here, but it's no disrespect to Benny, but it's just a 5.
Yeah, standard 5 for Saeed Benrahma. Comes on, didn't really do a lot, but he's on the pitch when we score a goal to equalise. But this man did come on, and this man did score. And this man is very, very good. Mohamed Kudus. I will go back to the summer when I was doing all this with the boys and we all were talking about players that we need at the club. And when we signed this man, I thought, now we're cooking. Now we are cooking as a club, yeah. And I've said it for a long time that West Ham are built different this year. This man does need to start games, yeah. It all depends who you take out for him, yeah. I thought he come on the pitch and he changed us completely. Like he gets the ball. I've never seen a player since probably Eden Hazard with a good like low centre of gravity, where he does not get barged off the ball. He don't get manhandled. He runs with the ball and he runs at pace. He's direct in running. I thought he was first class today when he come on. First class. Clive, what you saying?
Yeah, for me, good passing, confident on the ball. I like that we've got someone in their early 20s who,
Mm.
you're going to get quite a few years out of the man. He looks good. He looks content. He knows what he's doing. His passing's on point. He's I like him. I like him a lot. I'm hoping we can see a bit more of him. Obviously, he's been mostly on the bench when he's come on, but he's definitely giving reasons to be starting the game. As I say, he's going to give Moyes some issues because that midfield is kind of loaded. So someone's got to go, and I do think it will either be Soucek or Alvarez to make room because I think at the moment JWP looks good as a defensive midfielder.
Mm.
Alvarez is looking good as a defensive
I don't
midfielder, and
think
if you want
I don't think you can take Alvarez out of this team. I really
that,
don't.
but
I
that,
think
but that's what I mean. I
yeah,
think you want two DMs that are very confident on the ball, that have got good passing accuracy. And as much as it pains me to say it, that tends to mean to me that the
yeah.
person that's got to go is Thomas Soucek. So
Mm.
I think Thomas Soucek might see himself on the bench in the near future to make room for Mohamed Kudus. But with all signs of what Kudus has done and already achieved so far, uh, you can't argue with it. For me, he gets a solid 7 for what was just 15 minutes, but he had a very good 7 mark there from me. But a solid 15 minutes on the pitch. He looked good, looked sharp, looked fresh. Great goal.
I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I think the influence that he brought on the pitch when we was down, and let's be honest, did West Ham really look like scoring before he come on the pitch? Definitely not. I didn't see a goal coming, and I was so angry, early, so fucking angry. Like I'm not even going to lie, because I thought us being 2-1 down through bad officiating was just order of the day, wasn't it? Really, and was getting done by them. I like this kid. I liked him. I liked him at Ajax. I think this kid is the real deal. Yeah, I think we've got a special player in our hands. Now it's down to Moyes to find the space for him in the side. He has to find the space for him, because I think from the front, he's a talent. Yeah, if that means Antonio out, Bowen up front, Kudus on the right, or swap them around and go Kudus up front and Bowen on the right, whatever it must be, Kudus has to play against Aston Villa away in 2 weeks' time. I need to see that. Do you know what I mean? I think with a Bowen, Kudus, and Paqueta front three, I think we're cooking. I really do. I'm so adamant on that. So yeah, I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was absolutely superb when he come on, and he deserves his goal today. Now, people, brace yourselves, because we're going to come to the ref.
Oh, ref first. Okay.
What are you saying about this waste of space, twat? Because I'm going to be honest, Clive. Right? How is he not a yellow card for Bruno? The second one.
Do you know what frustrates me is it's not the only fixture in the Premier League today that has seen a failure of a second yellow card. And it doesn't say much about the refs for me. I'm not going to blame the ref on this. I'm going to blame the referee body for this. So whatever the ref people were called.
The PGMOL, I think.
Oh, well, that's it. Yeah. Because
right?
for some reason, the refs seem to have got it in their ideology, in their heads at the moment, which is, we can't give a second yellow card and send someone off after 25 minutes or 18 minutes.
What does me though, Clive, what does me is they will moan and they will book a man who's insinuating about giving a yellow card, but they will not book a man who has just clearly wiped out James Ward-Prowse. He's wiped him out completely, right? He's from behind. He stopped a West Ham attack because West Ham were on the attack then, and he still hasn't booked him. It was like he was scared.
There was a solid 2, maybe not even 3 fixtures today, or this weekend rather, where a second yellow hasn't failed to be applied because it's too early in the game. Is the only reason I can see it being not given. Because if that tackle had been made in the 65th, 70th minute, we know that's a second yellow. we all know that's a second yellow card. But because it was made in the first half, halfway into the first half, nothing's given. It's like a final warning.
I think it's about the 25th minute. I think it was.
Exactly. So I don't get it. If it's not VAR fucking things up, or apologies.
That's right. That's right.
The
referee deserves it tonight, mate.
If it's not VAR doing it, it's the refs themselves at this point, which is just getting ridiculous.
But it's not even that. It's not even that. The free kick for Newcastle's first goal. Yeah, and listen, I'll give Newcastle some credit. Yeah, second half they come out and they smashed us to bits. Yeah, they did. And West Ham looked tired in the second half. Really did look tired. They looked like they was running out of steam, right? And then what it was towards the back end of the game, they had this like second wind sort of thing, and then they sort of come back into it. Yeah, I will get to that in a minute, Keith. Yeah, but what I can't understand, even the foul on Paqueta, it's never a foul in a month of Sundays. I mean, it is never. Like he's won the ball off of Tonali or whatever his name is, yeah, and it gets ball back, and an attack has stopped again, right, because of West Ham. Do you know what I'm saying? And I heard Moyes' interview, and Moyes turned around and said, "It's a bad call, but we should be defending the free kick," which I understand what he's saying, but it should never be a free kick in the first place, Kyle. It really shouldn't.
No, 100%, and I think there was a comment that's just been made. I think it was a donation as well by Keith. So big up Keith. But yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. The refs, the refereeing is just looking worse and worse as seasons go on. I mean, the whole point of having systems like VAR was to make things easier, to put less pressure on the refs, and yet here we are talking about referees again.
It's bad though, mate. Like Keith, thank you very much, mate. £10. The standard of referee has been getting slowly worse. Ref today lost his bottle, inconsistent for 90 minutes. A truly appalling performance. It takes a lot for me to say that. Shout out to Keith. The thing is, what does me is it wasn't just them sort of decisions, yeah? Even in the second half, there was fouls on Paqueta where he was getting clipped. He was getting pushed off the ball. I remember one foul where Trippier played the game with him and just like pushed him off the ball when he's going up for an header. Yeah. And nothing again. It's just like, I don't get it with the referees. And the thing is with I know I'm going a bit of a rant about this one, but I've just felt like the James Ward-Prowse yellow card is standing right in front of him. Like he's not 25 yards away or 30 yards away. He's literally standing 5 yards away from him. Yeah. And if he can't give that, and he's just a bad referee, that geezer. He really is. What you rate?
Today was poor. For me, a 1 for just turning up.
Do you know what? Shout out to Eddie here, yeah? Absolute spot on with that, because I completely forgot about that, and he's just put it in the comments there. His worst moment was when he could not control the Newcastle line during the James Ward-Prowse free kick. He let them move up to the feet of setting the line. James Ward had no chance after that. Shocking. I agree on that. He done the line, and they're all shimmying forward about a yard and a half. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just, he was absolutely crap. And do you know what? That's why I'm pleased. Like, that's why I'm quite pleased that we definitely got something out of the game today, because I would have been so fucking fuming if we would have lost this game today. Yeah, because we didn't deserve to lose. What you rating?
Just a 1. I think overall poor performance, and didn't really play the occasion or the game.
I'm giving him a 0, and that's being kind. And that's for turning up at the LS and running around for 90 minutes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Waste of time, mate. Waste of time. Let's go to this man, Mr. Moyes, as Alfie's been in the chat and obviously changed it over. David Moyes, what are you saying for David Moyes today, mate?
Do you know what? I like the system he played today, but the second half, conceding 2 goals very quickly, losing our heads on the pitch a little bit, was a bit frustrating. Saying that, David Moyes masterminded the substitution that led to our equalising goal. So I don't think it was overall that bad. I'll give him a high 7.
See, people are saying about him and Kudus, yeah, saying Kudus needs to start. What people are not saying, this is where Moyes does have a bit of a tricky problem, is that who does he take out?
Because and that's the thing, and that's exactly what I mean. I think Kudus has also played a different style with Ajax as well. I know Alvarez has, but Alvarez started in the season and got integrated in. He started off in the bench as well. We know how Moyes likes all of his players when they come in, with the exception of 1 or 2. But if you look at all of the signings he's made overall, they all start off on the bench and come on. and I do think he'll start soon. But this is what I mean. Who's going to go in the midfield? And to me, it's Soucek at this point.
At the end of the day, right now, you can't drop Soucek. He scored 2 goals in 2 games.
You can't. But then, does Soucek move back? Does JWP go forward? There's so many aspects. I think we'll see a bit of tinkering around with that midfield.
If I was to sort of go through it and process of elimination, Clive, yeah, right. First off, you can't get rid of James Ward-Prowse because he's good at everything. Yeah, passing.
Eight goal contributions this season in 9 games.
Yeah, right. So you can't really get him out of the team. Yeah. Edson Alvarez, you definitely cannot take out because he's a natural DM. I think the only time that you will get Kudus in this side is when Edson Alvarez gets booked next. Because then when he does get booked, he's going to be out for a game. And West Ham will have to change system or change the way they approach the game. Yeah. So currently right now, Alvarez can't be moved. I think he's absolutely superb in that position. Yeah.
Currently in the Premier League, both Alvarez and Paqueta have got 4 yellow cards already.
That's what I'm saying, right?
So, yeah.
So then it goes to Soucek. Yeah. Now Soucek scored 2 goals in 2 games. Looks pretty. It's been pretty good, right? He can't come out the team, and then you definitely can't drop Lucas Paqueta. So all it really leaves, if you want me to be honest, and I know I'm going to offend a lot of the younger fans, but Mikel Antonio shouldn't be in this team. He shouldn't. It should be Jared Bowen up front, and it should be Kudus from the right. And if you're going to go attack-minded with that sort of mindset, that's what it should be.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be against that. I think if you're putting Bowen centre forward, then yeah. I can't disagree with that actually.
Yeah, but and that's what I'm saying. People are crying for Kudus. Yeah, I see it on social media. I see it in my chat here. I get it, but there's only one man really who honestly shouldn't be playing right now, and that's Antonio. Yeah, and Antonio was he was okay today. It was just okay, but you need more. Do you know what I mean? You need what Kudus done is what Antonio needs to be doing, but he ain't going to do it. So, what you rating Moyes? 7?
I think a 7 because ultimately the substitutions have somewhat saved him today. I don't think the way we played today was necessarily bad. The second half, how we came out, was nothing like the first half. So I don't know what happened at half time, but clearly, the setup that we initially went into the game was correct. And before the game, if we'd said, get a point out of Newcastle, I would have taken it, especially after their midweek performance. I mean, they thrashed PSG.
Let's get to Richard. 7. Let's get to Richard B. Well, that's a turnaround. I thought you hated Bowen up top, Viva. The problem is, Rich, is that if you've not got a player who's doing it, like in Antonio, yeah, you're going to have to change it eventually. You can't just keep persisting with the player and hoping it's going to work. Yeah, and if Kudus on the bench, it needs to be on the pitch, right? And it needs to be roles reversal of thing. I don't think you can get rid of any midfielders right now for Kudus. I don't think you can get rid of JWP, Alvarez, or Soucek, and that's coming from me. And I think Paqueta is undroppable. So really, it's process of elimination, and the only one who is left is Antonio. Talking about Moyes today, I thought he picked the right team from the start. He knew that Newcastle were going to be strong, so he went strong with sort of aerial players and everything. We scored a good goal. We was very good in the first half, extremely good. I think if that yellow card turns into a red, we win this game comfortable, absolutely comfortable.
Very true.
Do you know what I mean? And that's not on Moyes at the end of the day. People are going to start slagging Moyes off. But if the referee had the bollocks to book him and send him off, West Ham are a different team. And we're 1-0 up at that precise moment in time. So, second half, this is becoming a bit of a problem for West Ham. It's happened a few times this season. It happened against Man City. It happened against Freiburg in the week. It happened today. It even happened against Liverpool. Yeah, away. We're coming out second half and we're slow out of the blocks. It's like we have to warm up, so to speak. Yeah. I've got to give Newcastle credit. Second half, they must have had a bollocking from Eddie Howe, and they come out and they literally was throwing everything at us. Yeah, but Moyes did make the changes. He got Kudus on, he got Ben Rama on. He threw everything at it in the end, and we got what we deserved, and that's a point. Do you know what I mean? Did we deserve to win the game? Maybe on another day, but we definitely did not deserve to lose. We did not deserve to lose this game today. Us getting a draw is the right result. I'm going to give Moyes a higher 7 today. Yeah. It would have been a higher marking if we would have sort of seen that a bit more in the second half. But I think a lot of that's on the players, mate. I think the players were knackered. Yeah, But Kudus needs to get in his side now. Yeah, I don't think there's any more excuses not to play this geezer. Like Kudus needs to play, right? And he needs to play from the front, because I've not seen a man with that much of a low centre of gravity since Eden Hazard. Yeah, someone who can get the ball, carry the ball, he can barge people off the ball. He's extremely good. So Moyes, get a high 7 today. You got it done in the end. Right, Clive, before we make a move, anything you want to add from so far this season? Because you have been back. This is your first time back for quite a while. And are you happy with this season? Could we be doing better?
Yeah, I think, look, ultimately, we've probably taken more points than we perhaps thought we would be at this time of the season. When we initially looked at the fixtures at the beginning of the season, we had obviously Chelsea, Brighton, teams that we've beaten, got those 6 points out of, so 3 points from each of those games. Yes, we drew to Bournemouth. All right, we lost to City and we've lost to Liverpool, but at least we're losing to teams that, not that we should be expecting to lose to, but we've got to a point where we kept losing to teams like Nottingham Forest and teams where we need to be picking up points. And I think it's been a strong start to the season, which has been needed. And, you know, I mean, we're already in European contention. We're in 7th place as we currently speak. And from a European standpoint, I mean, 2 wins from 2. So from a group stage point of view, we've put ourselves in a good stead early into the season, and that should help our campaign in the Premier League, I think, which is very important for the first half of the season. Obviously, we've got a big game in the Carabao Cup coming up, which will see the return of Declan Rice to us. So that'll be an interesting game. And I mean, I would love to beat Arsenal on the 1st of November and get a little domestic cup run in. That would be quite nice. So I think this season's shaping up to look good. I'm excited by it. Be interesting to see where we go from this, but I hope we don't start falling apart this season.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either, but you just don't know what could happen. I do think the season will get tricky at points, but it's been a strong start, and at this rate, we could be looking at another season of European football if we play our cards right.
Yeah. Shout out to Mark. Another great show, lads. Thank you very much, Mark. I really do appreciate me and all the boys on this channel. Really do appreciate all the super chats that we get just to make this channel bigger and stronger than ever. I'm going to give you my take on it. I'm very, very pleased with the way West Ham have started this season. Yeah. For me, when you go back to a few weeks ago, when we were starting the season off, we had no signings. It looked like Declan had gone. We weren't signing no one. The fucking whole fan base was up in the air. It was worrying signs. Yeah. Then Steiden decides to go to Amsterdam and nick 2 of their best players, and we turn into a team that we look really, really good. Yeah. I don't worry about West Ham. I really don't this season. I think West Ham are strong. I think we're strong in all departments. Yeah. I think the only problem that we've got is injuries and suspensions to ourselves, really. I think Emerson on the left-hand side, if he goes down, I think we lose a major player there. I think Alvarez in the middle of the park is going to be a blow if he gets suspended or sent off or anything like that. And obviously injuries to either like Paqueta, Bowen, etc. But we've signed well. Yeah, and there's players who are ready to come in like Kudus, Mavropanos, who they look good. They look good. I've seen West Ham sign some shit over the years, but I'm not being funny. Tim Steiden has managed to sign some quality for West Ham, yeah, and I am really, really pleased. Really, really pleased. 2 wins in Europe. We look comfortable in the Europa League. Do you know what I'm saying? We thought it'd be a tough old arse this season, but I'm over the moon, mate. I'm over the moon. Listen, I can accept losing to Manchester City and Liverpool. Yeah, Man City lost today. Fair enough. Yeah, they lost against Arsenal in a fluky 1-0 win. Yeah, but when you're playing teams like Newcastle, who are just starting to get up there, and we get something out of the game, and let's be honest, we've done well so far this season. Yeah, I don't think it's going to fall off. I think West Ham are going to be stronger as the season goes on, and I think Aston Villa next will be a major test for West Ham away from home against the Villa side that don't lose at Villa Park. So I'm over the moon. I'm very, very happy. I think everyone else should be, really. Like, it's the second international break now. Do you know what I mean? And we played 8 games, and we've done pretty good. Do you know what I mean? 4 wins, 2 draws. I think it's 3 defeats.
No, 2 defeats, 2 defeats. 4-2-2.
Yeah, 4-2-2. So basically, to lose against Manchester City and Liverpool, I can accept that. Really, I can. Do you know what I mean? And if you're beating the likes of Sheffield United, Luton, and like Brighton, who are a decent side, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we've got to be happy. Adam, hope you're well, mate. 2 questions. 1, if we strengthen in January and top our group, how far can we go in the Europa League? What are you saying on that, Clive? First one.
That's a tough one because whoever we sign, will they be cup tied from European competition?
There's no cup tie thing there since 2018. I found that out through Kudus.
Wait, what? No, because I thought Kudus was because it wasn't the group stage. Because
it's something to do if
qualifying.
Yeah.
Because if it's all right, if it isn't affecting group stage, then perfect. Look, personally, in January, I'd like us to get another striker, but last time we got a striker in January, look how that went. So I don't know. They always say that if you buy in January, it's a panic purchase. We don't tend to make purchases in January unless we panic. So unless we get a shit ton of injuries or something goes wrong, and all of a sudden we're fighting relegation again or something along those lines, I don't expect us to sign anyone in January, as much as I'd love for us to get 1 or 2 extra players in. Especially because of the financial fair play as well. I think we're going to be very quiet in January, to be honest with you.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I think if West Ham top the group, which I expect West Ham to top the group now. Yeah, 2 wins in a row.
Oh, yeah.
I expect West Ham to finish top of that group now. Yeah, if West Ham don't finish top of the group from winning the first 2 games, they're saying drastically wrong, right? If it comes to January and West Ham are floating around the 7th, 6th mark, I want West Ham to go out and spend and go for it.
Well, I think if you actually look at the league at the moment, it's an interesting one because it's been weird results. I mean, you look at Aston Villa, you look at Brighton, who both sit above us, right?
Yeah.
And you've got teams like Brighton that lost 6-1 to Newcastle, but yet they're above us at the moment. And you've got teams like Aston Villa who have had mixed results themselves this season. I mean, they started off with a 5-1 loss to Newcastle. But then they've beaten Brighton. Oh, sorry, no, they were the ones who beat Brighton 6-1, wasn't it? So it's very, very strange because both Brighton and Villa, whilst yes, they've looked all right, they've had some very strange fixtures and results. And I do wonder as we get further into the season whether they will start to slide down a bit, and perhaps there won't be as much of a concern about where we finish in the league. But I think maybe I'm just being optimistic here, and I do think it will be close. I think it will be close, but I don't know where we could strengthen other than up front, because realistically, maybe left. I was about to say left wing, maybe a left back, for instance. Or
if West Ham go out, if West Ham go out and sign 2 players in the January window of a left-sided, one of them has to be a left-sided player, either a left back, or a left winger. And if we can go out and get another centre forward, because I don't understand why Mbamba's here. If he's not going to play, and you're not going to put him on, right? You could have just loaned him out to a Championship side for a season and give him experience, right? I think West Ham could do some damage in the Europa League all day long. I think West Ham are built for that competition, and I don't fear us getting relegated this season, right?
Oh no, definitely not.
Right, we're not getting relegated, right? And we're not going to finish like fighting relegation. So this is the time now. Right, the time is now. Like, if you go back 2 years ago, cast your minds back 2 years ago when we had Frankfurt. If we would have spent in the January, we might have turned them over. Do you know what I mean? And I think West Ham can do it. Second question: who has been your favourite signing so far, and why? Clive.
Oh, JWP. That's actually easier than I thought, because JWP's played the most minutes, 8 goal contributions, helped us with the form at the start of the season. If it wasn't for him at the start of the season, God knows where we could be right now. For me, listen, I didn't want JWP, but I'm a bit humble pie on that one. I'm sorry, JWP. I love you. But for me,
shout out to all the Mexicans out there, but because Edison Alvarez is the reason why West Ham are doing all right this season. Yeah, we have got a solid DM in that sort of middle of the park who is very, very good. And let's be honest, yeah, it's his first season at West Ham. Ever since he's come in, he's looked good. Do you know what I mean? Like you can say about Man City and Liverpool, but they're good sides. Yeah, but every other team that we've played, he's looked phenomenal. And yeah, I'm really happy to have him in the side. Let's get to this final one from Adam. Hope you're all good and as well, James. Olympiacos away, Everton at home, Arsenal on the 1st November and Brentford away. Which games do we play? Maybe a second string team, first team will get tired. I think Olympiacos we'll go second string. Would you agree, Clive? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think we smash Villa. On the 22nd, then we go Olympiacos. I think Olympiacos we go somewhat heavy, but not fully heavy. I think we start resting a player or two. In fairness, I could actually see us playing those that could get carded probably in the Villa game, those that don't get a fifth yellow card, i.e. Alvarez or Paqueta. If they get yellows in Villa, then they miss the Everton game anyways. If they don't get yellows in that, then essentially I think they skip the Everton game and they play against Brentford because we'd rather have a full team for the Brentford game.
And it ain't just that, right? You've got Emerson, Paqueta and Alvarez all on 4 yellow cards. I think I'm not even sure. I think Everton might be on 5 now because he got booked today. So
no, Alvarez is definitely on 4. He's got 1 in Europa League. Paqueta's got 4, all in the Premier League, and Emerson's got 4, all in the Premier League. So yeah, I think whoever doesn't get a yellow card in that Villa game gets rested against Everton potentially.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. I hear you. 1st of November can't come quick enough for me though, because I can't wait to turn them over down in North London. But that is enough of us for this Sunday evening. It is Sunday night, people. Go and enjoy yourselves, whatever you're doing around the world. My final thought is this. West Ham have done very, very well in the first 8 games, yeah? But we've got a couple of weeks off now to rest, relax, and then we will go again for the final part of the season. I'm over the moon. I really am. Do you know what I mean? Anyone who's disappointed, unhappy and all that, they need to get a grip of life, but that's just on them. But West Ham doing very, very well. Clive, thank you very much for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you for having me as always.
No worries at all, mate. Listen, I'll be back during the week at some point. I'm going to have a few days off because it's international break, but I've got something lined up for all the boys, including Clive, next week. Yeah. So do check it out on E20 Zone TV. It might be Wednesday, Thursday. They don't know about it yet, but it's going to be fun. Do you know what I'm saying? But that's enough from us. You take care of yourselves wherever you are, and all the best to you. Peace. That is